One of the first times I went into trance was when I was 8 years old. Brahma Baba had come to Karachi, and he was in the home of one of my relatives who was holding a satsang. I had gone along with my mother. Baba spoke Murli, but I was too young to understand much of it. Nevertheless, I sat there listening. And while listening, I went into trance. Suddenly. Perhaps this gift will one day come to you too, just like that. I was so innocent at the time that I couldn't even articulate what I was seeing. There were very beautiful scenes of heaven, but who was the figure I saw there? Rama? Krishna? I couldn't say. I couldn't understand anything of what I was seeing. In those days, souls who went into trance experienced the golden age. How children would be born, how marriage ceremonies would take place. They would see Krishna and dance with him. No one had experiences of the subtle region. At that time, there was no clarity about this. However, one night, years later, when I was 11 or 12, I was pulled into trance while everyone else was asleep. That night, I saw the subtle region. It was like the light of thousands of moons all together. When I had this vision, I couldn't understand what all the white was about. Usually the visions were of a colorful heaven and of dancing and happiness, but there, on that first night, all I saw was white, everywhere. The next day, however, I not only saw white all around, I also saw Brahma Baba in his form of light. I did not understand at all what I was seeing or experiencing. I was still young, so I shared this experience with one of my friends. She laughed and teased me. We had a white cat, and she said that I must have been seeing our white cat. But I knew what I had seen. The other children also teased me and laughed it off. I was not sure who to tell all this to while I continued to go into trance. Ultimately, I went to Baba. Baba, it was you, with the same features, but in a form of light. Baba wondered, I'm sitting here, so what is she seeing up there? Why did she see me up there? Baba understood that some new secret was being revealed. Some new chapter was opening up. Baba asked Mama to try and understand what I was experiencing. However, Mama also was not clear about what I had seen. At that time, we sisters were living separately from Baba. He lived with his Lokik family and some brothers in a house in Clifton, near the beach. And we lived with Mama in a house that looked like a palace. Baba saw that I was being teased by the other girls, so he decided that I should come and stay with him. This was so that I could remain more in solitude. Baba's daughter-in-law, Brigindra Dadi, also used to stay with Baba, and I was put under her care. I started going in and out of trance, bringing messages to Baba despite the fact that at that time we still had no clarity about the subtle region. Brahma Baba and Brigindra Dadi gave me questions to ask the Brahma Baba in the subtle region. For example, to ask him who he was, as there was the physical Brahma Baba in the corporeal world at the same time. I would go up to talk to the Brahma Baba in the subtle region and get answers from him from up there. I asked the subtle Brahma whatever they asked me to ask him. In this way, things started to become clear. We began to understand. Because of this role, I needed to stay in a lot of silence. In this way, silence became my nature.